Hello, and welcome to Read Us a Story. What shall we read today? How about Peppa Pig, Peppa and her golden boots? It was the day of the big puddle jumping competition. Peppa and her friends were practicing jumping up and down in muddy puddles.
My daddy always wins, boasted Peppa. He says that the first rule of puddle jumping is to wear your boots. And mine are very special because they are made of gold. They are not gold, replied Susie Sheep. They are yellow. They are not yellow, they are real plastic gold, protested Peppa.
Would anyone like some orange juice? Called Mummy Pig from the house.
Yes, please,
replied everyone. They ran inside, leaving their boots outside the front door. When Peppa and her friends had finished their juice, they headed outside to put on their boots.
Oh no! My boots have gone! Wah!
Sobbed Peppa. Mr. Zebra arrived with the post. I've just seen a duck with boots on, he said. Peppa sniffed.
Were they gold?
No, yellow, he replied. Mrs. Duck came running down the hill, wearing Peppa's golden boots. Peppa ran after her.
Mrs. Duck, can I have my boots back, please?
But Mrs. Duck did not want to give Peppa's boots back. She didn't stop running until she reached Captain Dog's boat. No one could stop Mrs. Duck. She leapt into the water and swam away. Captain Dog started his engine. "Ruff! I think my boat can go faster than that duck," he exclaimed. But Captain Dog's boat could not keep up with Mrs. Duck. That's a fast duck," he said. Mrs. Duck finally stopped at a little island where Grampy Rabbit had been shipwrecked when his boat capsized.
Mrs. Duck has my boots and she won't give them back,
Peppa called.
"Don't worry, Peppa,"
replied Grampy Rabbit.
"Mrs. Duck has nowhere to go."
But then Mrs. Duck started flying, and she was still wearing the boots.
Oh no!
cried Peppa.
Mrs. Duck is flying to the moon with my boots.
"Don't worry, Peppa,"
said Grampy Rabbit, pointing to the neighbouring island.
"We'll take my rocket."
I really don't think Peppa's boots will be on the moon, said Mummy Pig.
"Nonsense,"
insisted Grampy Rabbit, helping everyone into the rocket.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off!
On the moon, Peppa and her friends searched everywhere for Mrs. Duck and the golden boots.
Let's ask at the shop,
suggested Susie Sheep.
"You don't get shops on the moon,"
exclaimed Daddy Pig.
Postcards,
called Miss Rabbit from inside her gift shop.
Ice cream, buckets and spades.
Meanwhile, Grandpa Pig had spotted Mrs. Duck in his garden.
"Those aren't your boots, are they?"
he asked. He quickly dialed Daddy Pig's number.
"Hello, Grandpa Pig," said Daddy Pig. "Yes, Peppa has lost some boots. We'll be right there." "Next stop, Grandpa Pig's garden,"
Peppa bounced excitedly out of the rocket.
My boots! My golden boots! She exclaimed. Thank you, Grandpa.
Grandpa Pig helped Peppa put them on.
Now we can go to the puddle jumping competition,
said Mummy Pig.
Oh, yes,
agreed Daddy Pig.
We'd better hurry.
The big puddle jumping competition was about to begin.
First up, Daddy Pig,
cried Mr. Potato. Daddy Pig took a giant leap and made a very big splash. Then it was Mr. Elephant's turn, and Mr. Elephant made an even bigger splash.
Mr. Elephant is the winner,
announced Mr. Potato. Peppa cleared her throat.
Please, can I have a go too?
She asked.
Oh, of course,
replied Mr. Potato.
And can all my friends help?
Peppa added. Mr. Elephant was not pleased.
Hang on, I don't think that's really...
It sounds perfectly fair to me,
interrupted Daddy Pig. Peppa and her friends formed a circle and held hands.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
They all chanted,
Jump! Whee!
Splash!
Peppa and her friends made the biggest splash ever.
Peppa and her friends are the winners,
declared Mr. Potato.
I still think,
began Mr. Elephant.
Hooray!
Cheered everyone, loudly. Peppa loved her golden boots. Everyone loved their boots. And everyone loved the big puddle jumping competition. And that was Peppa Pig. Peppa and her golden boots. How about Peppa Pig, George's tractor? Peppa and George were spending the day at Granny and Grandpa Pig's house.
We're very glad you're here,
said Grandpa Pig.
You can help us harvest the vegetables.
Hooray!
Cheered Peppa and George, jumping up and down.
Grandpa, what does harvest the vegetables mean?
Asked Peppa.
Ho, ho!
Grandpa Pig chuckled.
When we have harvest the vegetables, it means we pick them so that we can eat them.
Ooh,
said Peppa.
Yummy! Yummy!
Cried George, rubbing his tummy. Let's go and harvest, said Granny Pig. It's a good job we've got our boots on. It's very muddy out here. Peppa and George had lots of fun helping Granny and Grandpa Pig harvest their vegetables. Soon there were huge piles of vegetables all around them.
What a big harvest, Grandpa!
Gasped Peppa.
Yes, it is, Peppa,
replied Grandpa Pig.
The biggest we've had in a long time. Isn't that right, Granny Pig? Granny Pig, where are you?
Peppa, George, and Grandpa Pig looked around. They couldn't see Granny Pig anywhere. Over here! Shouted Granny Pig, poking her head out from a tall pile of carrots.
Ah, there you are,
said Grandpa Pig, smiling.
Granny, said Peppa, you look a bit, carroty?
George giggled.
Granny egg.
Next, we need to get all these vegetables into those crates over there,
said Grandpa Pig, pointing to the other side of the garden.
All the vegetables, Grandpa?
asked Peppa.
Yes,
replied Grandpa Pig.
every single one.
Everyone looked at the enormous piles of vegetables.
Oh,
said Peppa. Peppa, Granny Pig and Grandpa Pig began carrying the vegetables over to the crates. The crates were far away. Peppa looked around.
Where's George?
Brum, brum, tractor!
cried George. He loaded up his toy tractor trailer with lots of vegetables and moved them over to the crates.
Yeah, that's very clever, George, said Granny Pig. Your tractor will make this much easier.
Brum, brum,
said George. Everyone helped George load and unload his tractor.
That's everything,
said Grandpa Pig.
Thank you for your help, Farmer George and Farmer Peppa. Brum, brum, tractor,
said George.
What are we going to do with all the vegetables now, Grandpa?
asked Peppa.
We can't eat them all. Can we?
No, Peppa, I don't think we can eat them all,
replied Grandpa Pig.
I know a special place we can take them, said Granny Pig. It's somewhere you and George will enjoy visiting.
Yippee!
cried Peppa and George. Granny and Grandpa Pig took Peppa and George to a farmer's market.
At a farmer's market, farmers and growers sell their fruits and vegetables,
Granny Pig explained. George was excited to see all the big tractors.
Brum, brum, tractor,
he shouted. George spotted an enormous tractor and pointed.
Brum, brum, big tractor.
Wow, I think that's the biggest tractor I've ever seen, George,
said Granny Pig. While George and Granny Pig went to see the big tractor, Grandpa Pig and Peppa started setting up a stall for their vegetables. Suddenly, they heard a loud rumbling noise.
Brum, brum.
It was George on Mrs. Badger's tractor, carrying all the crates of vegetables.
Wow!
gasped Peppa.
George is on a real tractor!
Big tractor!
cried George as everybody unloaded the crates.
Thank you, Farmer George,
said Grandpa Pig.
Now our vegetable stall is ready.
Farmer Pepper and Farmer George had lots of fun selling the vegetables.
Rebecca!
cried Peppa, spotting Rebecca Rabbit.
Come and buy some of our vegetables. Oh, what a lot of lovely carrots,
said Mummy Rabbit.
How did you get them all here?
Brum, brum, big tractor,
said George.
I see,
said Mummy Rabbit.
I would like to buy all your carrots, please.
There were lots of customers at the farmer's market. Farmer Peppa, Farmer George, Granny and Grandpa Pig were very busy selling their vegetables.
Hello, Farmer Peppa and Farmer George,
said Daddy Pig.
Hello, Daddy, said Peppa. What would you like?
Said Daddy Pig, looking at the empty stall.
Oh,
said Peppa.
We don't have anything left.
Never mind, said Mummy Pig. It's time to go home now. What would you like for your supper?
Carrots, please,
said Peppa. As you've sold all yours, we'll have to get some from the shop, said Mummy Pig. But how will we get there?
Brum, brum, tractor,
said George. George loved the farmer's market, but he loved tractors even more.
Brum, brum, tractor.
George loves tractors. Everyone loves tractors. And that was Peppa Pig, George's tractor. About Peppa Pig. Peppa, the Easter Bunny. Peppa is painting a picture of the Easter Bunny with some yummy chocolate eggs.
Let's have a surprise Easter egg hunt, George,
she cries.
We can hide eggs in the garden. Then our friends can come and look for them. Yippee!
Cheers, George. Mummy and Daddy Pig help Peppa and George decorate Easter eggs and hide them in the garden. Oh, you're just like the Easter Bunny, Peppa, says Mummy Pig. Peppa giggles.
I am the Easter Bunny,
she says, hopping around like a bunny rabbit.
Daddy,
says Peppa when they finish hiding the eggs.
Can I surprise my friends and dress up as the Easter Bunny?
Keep, keep, asks George. Says Daddy Pig, thinking. Let's see what we can find in the dressing up box. In no time, Peppa is dressed as the Easter Bunny and George is dressed as a chick. Perfect, says Daddy Pig proudly. Your friends will be here soon, says Mummy Pig. I'll help you hide so you can surprise them. Just then, the doorbell rings. Ding dong. Peppa answers the door. Oh, Daddy Pig answers the door. It's Peppa's friends. We're here for Peppa and George's surprise Easter egg hunt, ruff, says Danny Dog excitedly. Splendid! This way, please, says Daddy Pig, leading them to the garden. Ready! Steady! Hop! Shouts Daddy Pig. Peppa's friends set off, hopping, skipping and running around the garden looking for eggs. Found one, says Susie Sheep. Me too, says Danny Dog. This is the best Easter egg hunt ever, says Candy Cat. We've all found an egg, says Susie, but where are Peppa and George? The children hear a tap, tap, tap noise coming from behind a bush. Look, gasps Pedro Pony, there are 2 giant Easter eggs left. The children run over as the giant eggs begin to crack. And out jump Peppa and George.
Surprise,
says Peppa. Peppa the Easter Bunny, gasp the children. And George the chick.
Do you like our surprise Easter egg hunt?
Asks Peppa.
Yes!
Everyone cheers. Everyone loves the Easter egg hunt. Everyone loves Peppa the Easter Bunny and George the chick. And that was Peppa the Easter Bunny about Peppa Pig. Peppa loves our planet. It was Love Our Planet Week at Playgroup. Peppa and her friends were very excited. Welcome, children, said Madame Gazelle, pointing to a picture of the world. This is Earth, the planet we live on.
Wow!
Gasped the children.
The little things we do to look after our planet can make a big difference, continued Madame Gazelle. Can anybody think of some things we can do to help?
Recycle!
cried Peppa.
Use less water, said Pedro Pony.
Squeak! Grow our own snacks!
Squeaked Rebecca Rabbit.
Walk, not drive!
Said Zoe Zebra.
Ruff! Save electricity!
Barked Danny Dog, switching off the lights.
All excellent ideas, said Madame Gazelle. Well done. But let's turn the lights back on for now, Danny, so we can see.
Ruff! Okay,
said Danny.
Now, children, I'd like you each to make a Love Our Planet a scrapbook at home, said Madame Gazelle. You can fill it with all of the things you do to help look after our planet, and then bring it in for a show and tell.
Ooh! Gasped Peppa and her friends excitedly. They loved making scrapbooks, and they loved show and tell. At home time, Daddy Pig arrived with Peppa and George's scooters.
Can we scooter home every day, Daddy?
Asked Peppa.
It will be better for our planet if we don't use the car.
great idea, Peppa,
said Daddy Pig.
I love scootering.
Daddy Pig raced off, and Peppa and George scootered after him.
Wait for us, Daddy!
Cried Peppa. When they got home, Peppa and George helped Mummy and Daddy with dinner.
If we put the peelings in the food waste bin, Grandpa can use the compost on his garden, said Peppa. Then he can look after the planet too.
Lovely idea, Peppa, said Mummy Pig. We can take them to Grandpa tomorrow. The next day, Peppa and George scootered over to Granny and Grandpa Pig's with the food waste bin.
Oh, thank you, Peppa,
said Grandpa Pig, thrilled with his gift.
Over time, these peelings will turn into compost, which will be fantastic food for my plants and will help my garden grow very nicely.
And it will help look after our planet,
said Peppa. Then Grandpa Pig had a surprise. He gave Peppa and George a window box to take home.
These flowers are very important,
he explained.
Bees and butterflies love them. We need insects to help plants make seeds.
Oh, thank you, Grandpa,
cried Peppa, buzzing around and pretending to be a bee.
I'm a busy bee looking after our planet. Buzz, buzz.
George giggled. When they arrived home from Granny and Grandpa Pig's house, Peppa and George watered their lovely new window box.
Look, George,
cried Peppa.
All these bees and butterflies have come to visit our new flowers. We're looking after our planet.
After lunch, it was time to pop to the shops.
Daddy, remember to bring some old shopping bags so we don't have to get new ones,
said Peppa.
Great idea, Peppa,
said Daddy Pig, picking up some shopping bags to reuse.
Right, let's go.
Just as they were leaving, George pointed to the light switch.
He wants to turn off the light to look after our planet,
explained Peppa.
Thank you, George, said Mummy Pig. I'll do it for you. From now on, your job can be to remind us to turn off the lights.
George grinned. He was very happy with his new job. That evening, Peppa and George tidied up and put everything into the right recycling bins.
Let's sing the recycling song, said
Peppa.
Recycle, recycle, we're going to recycle tin cans, bottles, newspapers. Recycle, recycle, we're going to recycle.
We'll take everything to Mr. Bull's recycling depot tomorrow, said Mummy Pig. But there's still one more thing left for us to do today.
Our scrapbooks,
cheered Peppa. Peppa and George used some of the cardboard from the recycling bin to make their Love Our Planet scrapbooks. Then they drew and stuck in pictures of all the different things they had done to help look after our planet.
Wow! What lovely scrapbooks,
said Daddy Pig.
They're recycled, Daddy,
said Peppa proudly. At bedtime, Daddy Pig was the last one to brush his teeth.
Make sure you turn off the tap while you're brushing, Daddy,
said Peppa.
That way you won't waste any water.
Thanks, Peppa,
mumbled Daddy Pig through a mouthful of toothpaste. The next morning at playgroup, Peppa, George and their friends showed Madame Gazelle their Love Our Planet scrapbooks.
Oh, fantastic work, children, said Madame Gazelle. You found lots of ways to look after our planet. I hope you've all learned that when it comes to looking after our planet, every little thing makes a big difference,
shouted Peppa and her friends, finishing Madame Gazelle's sentence for her. Peppa, George and their friends love our planet. Everyone loves our planet. And that was Peppa Pig. Peppa loves our planet. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, be sure and like the video. And remember, you can always subscribe to the channel at Read Us a Story. Thanks.
Bye!